What's up, guys? It's your boy, the Badwolf. Now, woo. I know I did tell you guys that I wasn't going to talk about the passport stars or the card stars anymore, but we're still getting these people asking me. I did make a more so in-depth breakdown in the paid subscription area. So I'm going to do a similar version here, just because I'm still getting so many questions about them. People are like, I only got 3 this time, right? Which is really rare. Most people always get 4 or 5. So they might be changing something internally, we don't know, but it doesn't matter. So let's get to it. So this is the final, as far as we can go, this is the final breakdown on the passport book, stars, card, all blah, 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 blah. Okay? They have removed the stars from the book. Okay, they're not there. They don't do them anymore. It's all internally encoded now. So you still want to have your explanatory statement, make your proper declarations and all that good stuff. The card for now still has the stars. However, okay, people think like, oh, he would never go back on what he said or whatever else. Oh no, I bring it to you. This channel is about finding the truth. It's not about half truths or I feel some type of way about the information. The information speaks for itself, and I always try to interpret it the best way for the knowledge that we have at present. So now we're going to do that. Now I know that when we originally started, we're like, okay, you definitely have to get a 5-star passport card. Okay, well, the stars, in all their actuality, this is what they mean. They are a threat or risk level that goes along with your status. So you can be a U.S. citizen, okay, and have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stars, or you can be a U.S. national, okay, also known as an American national, state national, national of the United States, whatever, and be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay? We do know that when this is done properly, you do want to have the 5 stars because the higher your stars, the lower your risk, okay? You've declared to them through your words, through the proper use of the codes, your statement, whatever, that you are non-threatening. The lower your number of your stars are, the more likely you are going to be considered a threat. Now, by that, don't freak out. Okay, the average person is going to get 3. We've noticed that people in the military tend to get 4, probably because they're part of that system, so they're less threatening. Okay. Now, what we do in our explanatory statements here is that we do declare ourselves to be non-combatants, non-threats. If you will, admirals of our own vessel, and that we are in a position of offering a treaty to the United States, and so ergo we are not a threat. We make these declarations. Okay, so and there's a ton more in there, which is one of the reasons why the explanatory statement that we provide is, and this is not even from me. This was quoted from somebody else with their own channel out there, who reviewed my material and said, I have one of the top 5 best explanatory statements he's ever seen in the United States. Okay, so this is coming from somebody who's a multimillionaire who checked out my material. So my little channel, people are watching. Hi guys. All right, so the stars, once again, they are a risk level. Okay, so the higher your stars, the less likely you are going to be considered a threat. However, the reason why we know this, and I'll get to all these aspects of it, is we really should have stopped and thought about this. Now, mind you, we're using these cards, which are relatively new, as identification for traveling. So this is we're like in Spaceballs. Okay, we're in the present right now. So what we're doing now is we're actually we're cutting a path. Okay, because nobody did these things before. Very few people even had their passport book and traveled with it. Some did, but we're doing this now. So this is us. Okay. But where were these always used? At docks, ports, airports, federal buildings, things of that, other countries. Okay? So, operating your personal conveyance under UCC 9-109, being that your vehicle is a personal consumer good, and was not done. Okay? Because people didn't need them, and even legally, technically, lawfully, right now, you don't need them. But it is good to have because we know the Leos out there, law enforcement officers, not peacekeepers, who owe you no obligation to protect you. Keep that in mind. And that's in their rules by law. So we're kind of creating something new here. So under the Constitution, we never needed and we still don't need them, but we provide them to them as a courtesy so that we don't have those situations. Some of those guys are, twitchy trigger fingers, you know what I mean? So we want to make sure that they know who we are, have an I, even though we don't have to, in most areas, have to provide an ID. We're doing that because we want them to know that we're non-combatant. We're just trying to be here and live underneath a separate jurisdiction because we're not under theirs. When you have declared yourself properly and you have not done anything criminal to pull yourself into their jurisdiction. Okay, so let's get back to it. So we do know that the particular places are federal buildings, airports, boat yards, boat docks, things of that nature. Now, cops do not know what those stars are. They barely, some of them are barely just now seeing the card for the first time, and a lot of them have never even seen people really use the books or the cards for traveling. Okay, so some of them are in the dark on this. So, give them a way to give them a way to get to know this in you by having your travel book ready with your information there, being able to hand that in there. Don't forget to have all of your disclaimers and fee schedules already listed on there so they know what's going on because you're operating the private. So if we look at it like that, those particular identifying marks are known for people here in the U.S. or the U.S. of A. and some key places around the world, mostly like embassies and whatever else. So that's why people are like, well, I got a 5-star or I got a 4 and I still got pulled over. Yeah, because these were never meant to be used that way. They don't teach the cops even mostly anything about being a U.S. national and the difference between that and a U.S. citizen. They don't teach them that because they don't really need to know that. That's why they call us foreign nationals, okay? That's their word for us, but they're not taught all that stuff. They're not taught even a good chunk of law, and they're definitely not taught constitutional law, which supersedes their rules and regulations and statutes, okay? Any judge will tell you. If you take a judge and a cop to Supreme Court, and that's the highest court in the land, okay? But if you agree to the stuff that they do and you're under their jurisdiction, then that is what it is. So anyway, let's get to it. Sorry. So I was informed that key people at consulates and embassies will know what they mean. TSA will know what they mean. Key people in the federal buildings will know what they mean, so that when they glance at it, they can say, oh, okay, they know what your status is. All right. I've seen this happen. I've heard people tell me this has happened. And they never even ran the card. They looked at it and knew what was going on, which was weird. Okay, so this is kind of a tight-lipped thing. It's only in key circles. So the stars, don't freak out about not having a 5-star. Essentially what has happened is that the people I sent out there to do education who've used their cards have said stories like, I got VIP treatment, I went right through, they didn't check me at the federal building, they didn't check me at the TSA. I haven't had anybody do an embassy or consulate thing yet. At least if they have, they haven't gotten back to me. Whereas these people had 3 stars before, and now they've got 4 or 5, and they weren't bothered, okay, repeatedly. That doesn't mean every single person. Results may vary, so don't even begin to send me emails on it. So essentially, as long as you fill out the application the correct way, remove the jurisdictions on there, provide your explanatory statement, you change your status, okay? You do not have to get rid of your U.S. citizen side. You're just not going to utilize that when you're operating the private with that particular card or book. So having a high level of stars is good, but it's not the end of the world. It does not mean that you're not a U.S. national. As long as you do all the other stuff properly, you are. So once again, U.S. citizen, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. U.S. national, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There you go. Okay? So we've gotten to the end of that, and that's really all there is to it, people. Because we've seen families do all this exact same paperwork and get, 5, 4, 4, 3, 3. Why do they do that? We're not still yet sure. Probably has to do with age. It could be where you were born. Those things are all internal. But what we do know is, and we've had police officers and federal agents run our IDs. The information is there. The status is corrected. We've called and contacted the IRS and whatever else. They attach that to your existing super file, and so as long as you do the process right, don't worry about the stars. They only help in certain key areas. So that's it, guys. Talk to you later. Hope you guys learned something, and peace out. Don't forget to support this channel and the Badwolf Media channel, and Visit blacksite32.com for additional free downloads and other goodies, discounts, and offers. Go get them.